What is up? So today I just hit Plat 1 the season with Drytrons. It's a pretty smooth climb, I would say. Uh, Mostly a good win record. Had some unfortunate bricks. Got FTK'd here by pendulums. But overall, it was a pretty smooth climb. So I guess I will show my deck list real quick. Changed a little bit from my previous videos. So stuff to stay the same: 3 alpha, 3 zeta, 2 gamma, 1 delta, and 2 eva. And then 3 orange light. I kept 3 maxi here. This card is just so insane. I think you have to play it, because like going second, it really helps fix your hand, and it's like even against some of the non-special summon heavy decks like Eldritch, it's actually still solid against Eldritch, because like they summon usually twice during your turn, so that's a Plot of Greed. Just an extremely broken card that should be banned, but it is what it is. Triple Herald, or Diviner, of course. I did cut 1 Ash Blossom. I know that it's a good way of stopping Maxi, but I felt that this deck has plenty, with 2 Called by the Grave and 3 Herald of Orange Light. I felt that was enough, and I think 2 Ash Blossom was fine. Natasha, this card is so broken, it's not even funny. It's just like the most satisfying card to resolve. Stealing all your opponent's monsters, gaining a bunch of life points, and then just destroying them. Triple Benten, of course. Herald. I prefer Herald of Ultimateness. I know there's the Herald of Perfection, the pre-preparation of rights package. I just prefer to play the deck this way, without adding those extra cards in. Foolish Burial. This is one of the best searchers this deck has. It's very versatile. Not only can you search any of your Drytron monsters by sending them to the graveyard, because the graveyard is pretty much an extension of your hand. You can also send any of your ritual monsters, or even send Eva to get searches from its effect. And triple Cyber Emergency, triple Nova. And then I added in 1 Drytron Fafnir. It's a pretty versatile spell. It allows you to add either Nova or Meteonis, depending on your hand. If you already have Nova, then being able to add a ritual spell is pretty nice. The effect that prevents your ritual spells from being negated, that never came up for me. I guess my opponents read the card. And the other effect is theoretically useful. You could use it against decks that are Synchro or Xyz heavy. By reducing their level, it can disrupt them, but it's pretty unlikely to come up. However, I do like Fafnir. I think playing 1 is cool. 1 ritual spell, I never felt the need to run more than 1. There are some rare games where it does come up that you would want a second one, but I don't think it's necessary. Double Call by the Grave. This card is so broken. I think it's a no-brainer in this deck. As I said, of a way of stopping Maxi or Ash, Droll even, some people play that. All kinds of stuff. And then Droplet. Yep, Droplet is also versatile, being able to be used both offensively and defensively. You can use it as a way to get Eva to the graveyard, not just to negate your opponents, but also if you're going second against, well, Drytron or another deck that's very combo heavy. This is pretty much your only way of having a chance to play the game. So yeah, I really like Forbidden Droplet. Extra deck Entis. I found myself using this card quite a bit. When your hand is decent, like if you open Alpha Ben 10 or Alpha Ben 10 Divine or something like that, something where you already have Diviner or something that you need to search with Ben 10, I just normal Diviner and send Entis to pop an opponent's card and force out their back row. 2 Arclight, of course. Assembled, Downer, and Zeus. This is just the Zeus package. It's very powerful in this deck. I only played 1 Mew Beta. I felt this was fine. I don't feel the need to play a second one, because worst case scenario you can just go into Union Carrier, which does kind of the same thing. Yeah, Beatrice, amazing card of course. Link Kariba, you gotta have this. Then Nightmare Phoenix and Unicorn. Phoenix kind of underperformed, I would say. It's not the greatest, but I think having an additional attribute for access code talker is pretty valuable. Because Unicorn is also dark, so is IP and Link Kariba. Most of your links are dark, so did want one that's not dark and also remove spells and traps. IP, of course, part of your standard end board. By the way, also something that you should know is that it says a link monster that used this card as material cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So if you make Link Kariba, or sorry, if you make IP first and then access code or Boral Sword or something, then that won't be able to be destroyed by card effects. So it doesn't matter whether you link summon using IP's quick effect, as long as the monster used IP as material. So that's pretty cool. Union Carrier. I think this is crucial in the deck. Whenever you get hand trapped, like for example, if your Diviner gets hit with Ash Blossom or Impermanence, not only will the search get negated, but it will stay at level 2, so that'll prevent you from going into Beatrice. So Union Carrier is very helpful. I also had there's also like some weird crazy stuff you can do with it. Like I hard opened Natasha in one of my games. I had pretty much nothing else. And I believe I got, was going up against an opponent's board that had like Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon to negate my stuff. I fell back to Union Carrier. I equipped Ben 10. I ritual summoned Natasha by tributing Union Carrier, which sent Ben 10 to the graveyard. And then I sent Natasha and Ben 10 to the graveyard so I could use Natasha's effect to steal my opponent's monster. Yeah, just a lot of cool stuff you can do with this card. It's really, really good. Unicorn is a no-brainer as well. Very good. Boral Sword and access code. I actually like having both of these as options. There are definitely times where you want to go for one over the other. There's really nothing I would rather play in place of these. So I know I know a lot of decks, Drytron decks play Appaloosa, but I actually really don't like this card in Drytron. Because like the idea behind it doesn't really make sense to me. You don't need more negates, right? You're setting up 4 Omni negates with Herald of Ultimateness. If they can't out it, they're not going to win the game. And if they can out it, they can definitely out your Appaloosa as well. With Forbidden Droplet or whatever they have, right? Having more negates is not going to win it for you. So I don't think Appaloosa is needed at all. I think it's redundant. And I'd rather have these two. Yeah, there's, what else? Oh yeah, Draconids as well. I cut Draconids. I also don't really see the benefit of playing this card really. It's just a beat stick. Like the disruption effect to send your opponent's cards to the graveyard during their turn is cool and all, but you do have to banish 2 from your graveyard, which is kind of a big deal in this deck because the follow-up is really good in this deck. So you don't really want to banish. As far as not being able to be targeted by monster effects, it's not that big of a deal at all. All of the problematic matchups like Eldritch can easily out this card. And it takes too many resources to summon, I would say. I think Natasha is just better for breaking boards and is really good even under skill drain and stuff like that. So yeah. Is there anything else I wanted to touch on here? Oh, and then there's the other one. This one's just bad. Don't play it. Okay. Like, I understand you want to destroy your opponent's spells and traps, but what are the chances that you get to summon this and then activate it and then it resolves without your opponent doing anything? That's very low, especially if you're playing against Eldritch and they have 5 cards set. It's not going to happen. And not being able to be targeted is not that big of a deal either, because the big cards like Conquistador, well, they don't target. Or Torrential Tribute, they don't target. there's really no point in running this. I would rather just run like Harpy's Feather Duster or Lightning Storm. They're not searchable, of course, but they're just better overall for back row removal. I think that is all I got for the profile part of this video. I'm going to show a few replays here from my climb to Plat 1. So yeah, check it out. So the first match I'm going to show here is against Tri-Brigade. So here I open up a brick, and I'm unfortunately going first with this hand, so I just set Droplet and pass. Here he activates his Iris. I don't know what he's playing, so I just let it go through. And once he summons Warbler here, I chain Maxi, since Warbler is going to special summon with its effect. I'm going to chain Ash here, and I'm actually going to chain Orange Light, which I know I'm really going minus here, but I need to fix my hand, otherwise I won't be able to play. So I have to do this pretty much. That's how good Maxi is, that I'm losing 3 cards from my hand to let it resolve. And see, there you go. Right off the top, I draw Fafnir. Just one starter for me. Okay, so he summons Ensemble Robin because he wants to set up one interrupt, or well, it's a double interruption, and not give me too many draws. But I drew exactly what I needed, actually. So here, activate Fafnir. He's burned through his interruptions, it seems like. Or so I thought. He had Maxi. So I Ash that. Good thing I held my Ash, right? So I'm gonna go for Zeta. He's gonna try to bounce it. I don't really need to negate this, but I want to send Eva to the graveyard, so I do negate it. Droplet is like really versatile in this deck. Another one of the reasons I really like it is because you can do stuff like this. So now Diviner to search Ben 10. Now we're going to link Rebo to get Zeta in the grave so I can use its effect. Now I finally get access to a ritual spell. So now I'm going to summon Ben 10 to overlay for Beatrice. Beatrice is also very versatile. It can get you whatever you need to finish your combo. So here I'm going to send Gamma because Gamma is very good in this situation. I want to get 2 bodies on board and get yet another Ben 10 search. So now I can get to Herald. And now we can even send Delta to get another draw. Just a free draw, why not? Not a good draw, but it's fine. So now we have Herald with 1 negate. And then we do have Beatrice to help set up for the next turn. I just choose to YOLO here for Boral Sword Dragon, because I didn't see any delays from my opponent. But somehow he was hiding his delay with the Revolt. I don't really need to negate it, but I do. He just has 2. He's not able to go for Shiraig, but it's whatever. This is needlessly risky, but I just felt like it. This also doesn't matter. I don't need to negate it because he's going to die this turn. If you want to stay on the safe side, I wouldn't go for Boral Sword like this, but I felt like it. So yeah, that's what you can do starting with the bad hand in this game, because Maxi is extremely broken. And this one is going to be against Invoked Shaddolls, aka Normal Summon Alistair. So here, I'm gonna go first. I get hit with Gamma, which I didn't expect. You don't usually see it on ladder unless you play against Virtual World, which I have not played against any this season somehow. So I did kind of think this was Virtual World. He ashes the Ben 10 too. Unfortunately, I need to use the Called By on this. I guess I don't really have any plays. The thing with cards like Called By the Grave is I would save them until you need to use them. Because sometimes there are points where your opponent ashes you and it's perfectly fine that they ashed you. So I wouldn't waste your Called By the Grave. In this case, I needed to use it. But you don't always want to click yes on when the game lets you activate something. So here, Beatrice again. What I'm going to try to do here is just go for 2 negates. So I'm going to send Beatrice, send Eva this turn, and then during my opponent's turn, send Eva again. So that just gives me 2 monster negates. I thought it was Virtual World, so I was going to plan to use this on Lulu. And pretty much end their turn. Set Droplet just as a backup plan. So now I send the other Eva. The Beatrice is just a +4. Very, very powerful. He goes straight for Invocation. I'm like, what? What is this guy doing? Is he gonna summon Winda now? No, he summons Apkalon. Also, this is another instance where you don't want to just click yes. I could click Droplets here, but what's the point? Apkalon is just negating my Beatrice, which is not going to do anything anyways. So I don't care if he negates it. I already used it. So here I'm going to hold my Orange Light, something more high impact. I don't care if he summons in face down defense position. I do care about Ariel though. So Ariel can banish 3 cards from your graveyard, which is very can be very nasty against Drytron. For some reason he chooses Eva, Ben 10, and Meteonis. Like, I really don't care if he banishes Eva and Ben 10, that's not a good choice. But I don't want him to banish my ritual spell, just in case. So I want to do Natasha plays next turn. So I do negate Orange with Orange Light. Hoping that his last card in hand is not good, but of course it's Shaddoll Fusion. So he's gonna go for Construct here. He sends, I believe, Dragon. Yeah, Dragon. So he's going to target my spell and trap here. And then he's going to activate Construct, which is going to send any Shaddoll card to his graveyard. So I'm just going to chain Droplet here. It's to negate Construct, which is pretty good. I just want to stop him from going into window. As long as he doesn't get into window, I win. So, you know, he doesn't have any more interruptions. I'm pretty much free to do whatever. So now Natasha. Get a free draw, because why not? I like drawing cards. Drawing cards is nice. Here I can send Gamma. Now I can ritual summon Natasha. And gain the free life points. Then you can actually tribute Natasha with any of your Drytrons. So I tribute it with Gamma. Here I need to free up space. By the way, another thing with Natasha is you need to have 2 monster zones available, because Natasha has to both special summon itself and take control of the opponent's monster. So you need to have at least 2 open to activate it at all. So you gain more life points. Here I can just pretty much do whatever. I'm just gonna go into Unicorn and spin back his Hedgehog, so we just get the flip effect later. And then, oh, by the way, did I mention Natasha is not once per turn? So I had a second Ben 10, I could just steal his other monster, and he just scoops there, because he's done for. Now what happens when your plan goes wrong? I'm playing against True Draco here. Another very unfun deck to play against. That runs Skill Drain and cards like Skill Drain. But I am going first, and I do have a good hand to get a lot of negates. Okay, so going into Beatrice, pretty standard line here. And you may think that this game is already over because I have so many negates, right? What can he possibly do? Well, you'll see. So draw phase, I turn on toggle so I can use this during his draw phase, by the way. You always want to do this because it's going to force them out to use Forbidden Droplet early if they have it. Otherwise, you will get to send Eva and then get 2 searches. Okay, so, oops, sorry, I missed that. So he sets True Draco Apocalypse. As soon as he set a card, I didn't know what he was going to do. But then he Tribute Summoned with by tributing the Trap, because that's how True Dracos work. So what happens here? So now he uses True Draco Apocalypse, targeting Herald, and it doesn't give you the pump to negate. And the reason why is, I mentioned this in a previous video, is because of the wording on Herald. So Herald says, when your opponent would special summon a monsters or activates a spell/trap card or a monster effect. So when it says spell/trap card, that is different from a spell/trap effect. Oh boy, tongue twister. So when this card is sent to the graveyard, it activates in the graveyard. So it's only activating in effect. This is different from activating a trap card, which is placing it face up on the field. Right. Since it's activating its effect in the graveyard, it's just a spell/trap effect. So actually Herald cannot negate it. So he targets Herald to destroy it. I'm going to chain IP here. So this is one of several ways that your plan can be foiled. It's going to negate everything, but looks like we'll have to do something else here. So I'm going to go into Unicorn to spin it back, force it out, then I'm going to negate with Orange Light. I just don't want him to get any searches. I am in a pretty good position here. Okay, so now he does have Desires, which is unfortunate for me. Joyce, that's 3. So during my standby phase, he decides to use True King's Return to special summon his what's his name? True Draco Warrior, yeah. There's like 10 different things. There's like Draco, True King, True Draco Fighter, True Draco Warrior, yeah, True Draco Slaying Phoenix, I believe. There's all kinds of crap like that. It's just very confusing. That was a tangent. Okay, so he's going to special summon Ignis. So I did draw Max Thief Return. I'm going to actually use it here because like this is the only time their deck is going to special summon, really. So it's the only time I'm going to get to use it and get a draw at least. So why not? It's a very normal summon heavy deck. So now main phase 1, the first thing I'm going to do is try to make access code Talker to force out anything that he has. Otherwise I'm going to destroy one of his cards. So he has Judgment, which is like one of the few ways of stopping access code Talker, because you negate the summon itself before it gets a chance to activate. So now he summons another one. I use Diviner. He chains his Draco Warrior, and then I use Orange Light again to negate it. And so now with Herald, my hand is good enough. Well, all I needed was the alpha, so I just used Send Entis to pop back row. And I don't know what it was. Maybe it was Skill Drain or something, but he surrenders there. So yeah. Herald is possible to out, but this deck does have plenty of backup plans, as you can see. Drytron, best deck.